After a 4-point road trip, Braden Cloutier and the rest of Orange County Soccer Club return home to the comfortable confines of Champion Stadium here in Irvine, California to take on a young Cameron Knowles Portland Timbers 2 side. Tyler Terrence along with none other than 4-time NCAA participant and former Virginia Tech Hokie Morgan Conklin. And tonight's matchup is brought to you by Renaissance Club Sport. And we will take a look at our synchronicity keys to the match. Morgan, what do we got for tonight?
Well, first off with Orange County, they're more of a veteran experienced squad, so they're playing a younger Portland Timbers 2 team. How can they establish their physicality straight from the start? And on the other side, Portland Timbers 2, a team who've had 6 of their 8 shutouts on the year on the road, yet they haven't since early June. So tonight it starts from the back. They need a shutout.
Well, as far as their back is concerned, they're definitely going to need some stalwart defending. But as far as their attack is concerned, Foster Langsdorff, the local boy, has been excellent up top.
And just looking at his stats on the season, 10 goals, which have come off 21 shots on goal. So he's a player that's able to capitalize, plays a bit of that withdrawn forward role at times, but he also is able to get around ball and gets a good look on frame. He's on loan from the first team, but he's been a huge part of this attack for Portland Timbers too.
Homegrown product and signed in January of 2018. Now let's take a look at your Orange County Shire player to watch. And for OC, it's maybe somebody that a lot of Orange County fans weren't expecting, but somebody that Braden Cloutier has been very impressed with as of late, Mr. Mats Bierman.
He's a player that's flown a bit under the radar, and he's so versatile, whether that's playing centrally, a bit out wide, or starting, even coming off the bench when needed. When you look at his performance in the last 3 games, he's stepped up and had a bigger role based on injuries and just the need for him in other roles. He's had 2 goals in his last 2 games, a player that Braden Cloutier is so high on right now, and he's going to look to continue that momentum.
Well, for Orange County in their last 3 games, it's 9 goals for and 2 against. They've won 2 and drawn their last against St. Louis, but return home to Irvine, California. For Portland Timbers 2, they're looking to make it 2 wins in a row after a big win over LA2 in their last match. It's Orange County and T2 when we come back.
New Canada Dry Ginger Ale and Lemonade. The perfect blend of real ginger taste with a splash of real juice. Are you ready to taste Nirvana?
Hey, honey! Do we want to taste Nirvana?
Yeah, sure.
How long have you been sitting in my yard?
Since Tuesday.
Try New Canada Dry Ginger Ale and Lemonade.
Almost set for this Wednesday matinee in beautiful Irvine, California. Orange County SC set to kick off against Portland Timbers 2 in just a moment. Tyler Terrence along with Morgan Conklin. So glad to have you with us for what should be an excellent contest here today. And we'll take a look at the Western Conference standings. Morgan, a couple of playoff teams in the picture at the moment. Orange County with 3 points today can leapfrog Phoenix Rising and start to nip at the heels of the Real Monarchs.
And when we spoke with Braden Cloutier, he just made sure that he's telling his team, we're taking it 1 game at a time. Don't get too high with the highs, can't get too low with the lows. There's still a lot of time left to play in this season, but both teams are in a good spot to maintain that playoff position. But 3 points are so important, especially for Orange County at home.
And for this Portland Timbers 2 signed Cameron Knowles, this is how the starting 11 is going to look. Morgan, you and I were talking about it off air. It's only a few players who were in the starting lineup in their last game against LA2 here in it tonight.
And right now, there seems to be a core of players. It's really 4 of them. You look at Kendall McIntosh in goal, Jadam at center back, and then Zambrano Lewis in the midfield. Those are really the guys getting a core minutes, and it's their core spine of the team, so they're going to look to build through them because right now, those are the consistencies in their 11. And
tonight's Orange County starting 11 is brought to you by Subaru Orange Coast. And for Braden Cloutier, this is how they're going to line up. Seaton up top, Bierman and Duke tucked right in underneath, and Aiden Quinn running the show in the middle of the park. And it's a similar lineup to what we saw last game, except that you see Christian Duke come back. He broke his nose against LA Galaxy 2. They're excited to have him back in the lineup. But Braden Cloutier feels that this back line is doing a good job right now. He said if they continue to play that they have, they're not going to lose their starting spot. So there's players coming back from injuries, trying to work their way back in the lineup. But right now, this core has shown that they're going to get the job done. And it's going to be the loan from LAFC, Luis Lopez, the Honduran from San Pedro Sula, getting the start in between the sticks today, as Andre Rawls is part of that injury report that we were just mentioning a few moments ago. As we are almost set for kickoff between these two playoff position teams at the moment. And really just a great little road trip for Orange County, able to create some separation between a couple of teams who were relatively close to them as far as the table was concerned. But after 3 points against Swope Park Rangers and 3 points against San Antonio FC, Orange County starting to distance themselves as we're officially underway from Champion Stadium. 3 points to be had for either side, or perhaps just a point apiece. T2 sporting their all-white kits, Orange County in their black and orange. T2 coming off of an impressive win against LA2. Never know what you're going to get out of that LA Galaxy 2 side, who score bags and bags of goals, but keeping them out of the back of their net is not necessarily their forte. T2 able to get 4 and come away with a 4-3 decision. Christian Duke getting a touch on it, as Morgan mentioned, broke his nose against LA Galaxy 2. Hadn't played in a game up until this point. Intended for Bierman. Contour. Well, Nielsen. Still trying to bend it in behind for Seaton, who's got 5 goals on the season. Quinn dispossessed in the middle of the park. T2 looking to counter and able to draw a foul, and Morgan right on cue, making us look very good with our keys to the game just in terms of T2 trying to start from the back and work their way up. To you, what does that mean? Well, right now it just starts with them. They need to have that strong defensive presence, and they did a good job early on. Orange County tries to knock that ball in from Alston, trying to find Seaton. It doesn't connect, and then they look to build out. Kind of bops around a little, and then they still look to build out. So it's just establishing that defensive presence. First off, as defenders, making sure that they're limiting the opportunity from Orange County, but also getting them involved in the attack. Start the attack from the back and really ping the ball around, starting with those defenders. Clipped in towards the back post, nodded in, and Lopez able to scoop it up. Duke unable to get there. T2 claiming possession. Now I'll go all the way back for McIntosh, who is one of those keepers in the United Soccer League who just sees a boatload of shots week in and week out, but an excellent shot stopper at that. Pretty consistent, regular on the USL Save of the Week nominees. Walker Hume and Thomas Nielsen holding it down at the back, and when we asked Braden Cloutier about the back line, he just simply said, how are you going to change a back that has been getting clean sheets left and right? Well, the keepers most of the time will get the credit. Can't forget about those central defenders as well as the outside backs, and it's really just a whole team effort. You as a former outside back yourself can surely understand that. And it was interesting too, because when you look at the injury to, he was out for yellow card suspension, Alex Cronali, and then you have a player step in and do a really good job. You don't sub your defenders often.
and it's a difficult spot to kind of break in as a defender, especially trying to get in as a center back. It just makes things difficult, so it's a great problem to have.
Now it's time to check out the Hoag Orthopedic Institute injury report. Just a couple names on it. Zach Kobayashi, who Brady Cloutier was very excited to get back into training, and then Andre Rawls, obviously absent from tonight's match, or today's match, I should say, as well. And Luis Lopez, the loan from LAFC, getting the start.
Tyler, another player we can probably add to that is Chaplow, Richard Chaplow. We are expecting to see him in the 18. Braden Cloutier told us he had a tight calf, wasn't really much of an issue, but we don't see him in the 18, so it's just a precautionary thing, so we could add him, although we don't expect to see him on that injury report for too long.
Well, Christian Dube back into the lineup certainly gives Brady Cloutier a few more options. Try to resume some normalcy as far as the middle of the park is concerned. Seaton. Christian Dube sporting that face mask. Dumped over the top. Segber's unable to get there. McIntosh cleaning it up for T2. T2 been trading wins and losses as of late. 4-3 win at LA Galaxy 2. Then it was a home loss against Las Vegas. Then a win at home against Swope Park, who has been extremely up and down this entire season. And a 4-2 loss at home against Fresno. Game in which the Foxes were excellent from start to finish. See from these young sides a lot, Morgan, is just a little bit of inconsistency. Maybe that has to do something a little bit with the lineup. It's showing in the results as well. Jaden Quinn. Big ball over. For Segbers as you get a look at Cameron Knowles over on the T2 bench. 35-year-old manager. Really up until this point, Morgan, a lot of people would say that he's done a lot more than people expected him to. This T2 was towards the bottom of the barrel at the end of 2017. And just the fact that they're in a playoff position right now on August 1st, certainly something to behold. Brady Cloutier trying to take Orange County back into the promised land, which eluded them in 2017 under Logan Pause. Here's Alston. This Orange County team ranks 5th in the United Soccer League in passing. Well over 9,000 passes connected.
It's easy to see why. Just the movement that they have off the ball, with players dropping in to pick the ball, for just the rotations in the central midfield area. They're always moving to help one another out.
Easy work for Kendall McIntosh as Alston apologizes to his comrades. Almost feels like the World Cup all over again. Some football right in the middle of the afternoon. I know you miss it, Morgan.
I do. It was nice being able to wake up and watch the soccer.
Well, it is Camp OC Day here at Champion Stadium, provided by Club Sport AV Laguna. That's why you see a number of day campers making their way out to Champion Stadium here in Irvine. And a reason for the early start. Here's a look at the youngsters. Just some sharp-looking orange hats. Duke, cut out in the middle of the field. This is where T2 can try to exploit Orange County on the counter. They're on the move. Comes out wide. All looped in. And Luis Lopez, very commanding and confident off of his goal line. Contour spinning away from trouble. Just a Duke just barely gets it off to Alston. Now it's Aiden Quinn again. Good delivery into Duke. Swope Park man. Pass cut out by Barmby. Ebobisse. And he uses pace around Walker Hume. All stayed in play. Ebobisse accounted for one of the 4 goals for T2 in their last matchup against LA Galaxy 2. Goes out wide. Sent in. Lopez actually fumbled it, and Walker Hume ends up clearing it away, but it's only as far as Barmby now. Still with Portland. Comptor, foot to it, Ina Voltson. Slow to get out wide, and I'll stay with T2. We're starting to apply some pressure. We'll take another look.
Orange County got a bit lucky on this ball. It's a dangerous ball sent in because it forces Lopez off his line. He does a nice job to get a touch, and then Hume happens to be right there to be able to clean it up. But the way that that ball's hit, it was flat. It didn't have much movement or bend to it, but just the placement of it makes it so dangerous because Lopez has to choose to come off his line. It's also in between the goalkeeper and center backs.
Good entry pass into Michael Seaton. Brady Cloutier stated that he's starting to develop a very nice relationship with Thomasina Voltson up top. And at the beginning of the season and even in preseason, they were trying to figure out how to really get the most out of both of them, and sat them down individually and as a pair and just said, what one of you does well, the other one doesn't, and it kind of complements each other. And slowly but surely, they've started to develop a great relationship, and Brady Cloutier very much expects both of them to be in double-digit goals. Thomasina Voltson is already there. Michael Seaton about halfway there, but also expects them to be in double digits in assists as well. Very high expectations for his attacking front. As there's a look at Christian Duke sporting that Rip Hamilton-esque face mask. Trey Lewis. Nice little touch along from Lamar Batista. Another ball sent in and knotted away by Walker Hume. It's 12 minutes in, Morgan. It's been T2 who, for the most part, have had not more possession, but more meaningful possession.
Orange County's been lucky.
They give it away. Sent back in. Lopez had to clear it away this time.
They've been lucky a couple times. It's been too slow in the back, mainly with marking. We've seen players in the right vicinity, but they're not tight enough to their mark, so there's been open headers for T2 around frame. And then right there, it's a really poor giveaway from Lopez out of the back. Completely coughs it up. Portland Timbers, too, have been in very good situations, and they've had enough time that if they pick their head up, they can keep gaining space and get an even better look on frame.
Quinn trying to pick out Seaton. Ina Voltson. It's actually Bierman who gets there. Zambrano trying to spark the counterattack the other way. Christian Duke couldn't get there. Great move. T2 on the move. It's a 2-on-1. Still with it. T2 all the way. Oh my goodness. It's an individual effort that only some can dream of. Marvin Loria absolutely dismantling Orange County, and it's a 1-0 lead for the visitors.
That was something special from Loria, but it was only a matter of time. The defensive reactions from Orange County were so slow. Christian Duke's the only one who really works to get in on this. Hume completely dives in, gets stuck, and then once again, caught flat-footed, and Loria is just able to gain that ground 1v1, and that's a confident finish. Just knows that he can chip Lopez there. He has so much space. Nobody's even trying to get close to him. It's a nice finish from Loria, though.
Absolutely sensational from number 44. You could just sense, once he got past that first line of defense at midfield, there was just a ton of space for him to be able to gallop into.
But the question for Orange County is, why is Christian Duke the only player tracking back trying to get a touch in there? He's engaging Loria at that moment. He can't get in on the tackle, but then nobody else is tracking him behind. Walker Hume, though, needs to do a better job. If he's going to step and get caught high, he's got to take Loria down. In no way can he get caught stepping and allow the player to still get by him. As a center back, you know that you are the last line of defense, so you either need to get man and ball, or if you're not going to, at least a professional foul to stop the play.
The USL official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league.
Loria with his 4th goal of the season and his 18th appearance.
On Twitter.
21-year-old from San Jose, Costa Rica. Came up for the Saprissa Youth Academy. It's usually one of the best teams in the Costa Rican domestic league. They found coming out the other way, but even from the start of this game, Morgan, you could just sense that Orange County maybe a bit pedestrian in their possession, and there was space to play for T2 on the counter.
And Orange County wasn't doing anything poorly. They had the right ideas. It was just so slow, and they were very reactive. Portland's on the front foot. Portland's the one, you know, getting into their final third, and Orange County's kind of trying to just react. They're not stepping higher. They don't have that extra energy, and maybe, hopefully, that goal will wake Orange County up, because right now Portland is taking it to them.
Here they are again, Barmby.
And you can see the defensive shape of Orange County. They're getting numbers behind the ball, and they've been doing that since the start. Getting players behind the ball, making it difficult to play through, yet there's no extra challenge. There's no extra effort to chase the ball or to step out and put that first line of pressure.
Could be some tired legs as well. It's their 2nd midweek game in the past 2 weeks. Defeated Swope Park 4-0 in Kansas City. And over the weekend, they were at St. Louis, 2-2 draw. Had the lead and blew it twice. Now here they are in another midweek game, albeit at 12:30 in the afternoon, West Coast time. Some tired legs finally starting to catch up with Braden Cloutier's side.
It's also difficult when you're used to playing games in the evening to have, first off, a midweek game.
T2 looking to use their pace again. It's an excellent first touch. And a couple of great moves from Andre Lewis before he's finally dispossessed.
That was a strong tackle from Walker Hume to cover ground and get his foot in. But continuing with my comment, it's difficult to, you know, get ready for a game that's at noon, which they probably normally train during this time, but you're not used to playing a competitive league game at this time. If you think the closest some of these players probably got to that was maybe college, if before that club. Played that during their club years growing up. So it's completely different playing during the game, but during the day, but at the same time, T2's doing the same thing.
Right now they're thriving off of it. Loria slipping it through. Luis Lopez on cue off of his line. There just seems to be a very large disconnect between the 3 lines of Orange County, the midfield, the back line, and obviously the attacking front. Bierman a good tackle with Barmby. Sends it over the top. Langsdorff unable to get there. First time we've called his name tonight, besides the opening comments during pregame. Alston sticks it over the top. It's a good ball for Zegbers. Orange County threatening. Zegbers. Delivery denied by Lamar Batista, and a corner kick coming up for the home side, their first of the afternoon.
That's one of the first times that we've seen the ball played to an outside back and then an outside back advancing up the field, which just a great job done by Alston. It's a pretty simple ball over the top, but the fact that he gets forward creates new angles for Orange County that we haven't seen so far this game. Getting the ball in an outside position, because Alston could have chosen to serve, could have chosen to go centrally. He went wide, and then you see other runs coming into the box in Orange County. It's well done, though, for Batista to track. He uses those long legs, is able to get a touch here. Works hard to get on Segbers. But I think if Orange County can continue to open up that space, and if they get Alston or get Contour on the ball, it just opens the field first off horizontally. So it makes the field bigger, and then it also allows the attackers for Orange County to do something different rather than just running straight forward. It forces them to check to the ball, opens up other pockets as well.
Mentioned Lamar Batista, standing at 6'5", just 20 years of age. To see exactly who was injured for T2. It looks like we are having somebody warm up for T2. It appears to be Josh Phillips who's getting ready to come on. And it's Madhu Jadama, the injured player for the visitors. And a very unfortunate start to the afternoon for Jadama. And this substitution brought to you by Shire. Josh Phillips, who's worn the captain's armband a number of times for Cameron Knowles this season. Onto the scene here in the 21st minute, albeit due to an injury. Not exactly the first 20 minutes or so that Cameron Knowles had in mind. The big one's corner kick. Cleared away by T2, only as far as Alston. Back in towards Aiden Quinn, trying to get on that predominant left foot. Whips in a great ball. It's loose at the back post. Last touch. They've coming off of Phillips. And another corner kick coming up for Orange County.
There's usually a lot of contact in the box anyway, so I don't always notice it or think that something should be a foul, but there was a lot of contact there when that ball was sent in. You see an Orange County attacker head to the ground. I'm not saying it should have been a PK. I think that's a tough one to give up, but T2, they're marking tightly and they're not afraid to use their body and get a little rough in the box.
Another corner kick brought to you by the big ones. More contact in the penalty area as T2 start the counterattack the other way. Andre Lewis.
It was something so small, but when Lewis played that ball, you see Segbers put his arms on him and kind of nudge him off his run, so the 1-2 couldn't be played back through, which allowed Segbers to stay in the game, and it didn't get him beat on the sideline.
Thomas Joel Nielsen, one of the backs responsible for allowing Loria to just carve his way through the Orange County defense. Wonderful individual effort. Bobasi, played by Joel Nielsen again. Long throw in, Walker Hume. Nathan Smith slides it along. Hey fans, be sure to stop by your favorite local supermarket and pick up some red shell miso dressing, sesame soy dressing, and teriyaki sauce today. It's great on salad, sandwiches, pastas, your favorite meats, and has a dipping sauce, so give it a try. More salad, please. Alston for Segbers, University of Wisconsin product. Getting Quinn over to the far side. Thomas Enevoldsen, virtually his first touch of the match in T2's defensive third. Snuffed out in the end. Given away by Contour. T2 have been lights out going the other way thus far. Barmby stood up. And a foul against the youngster.
That's a great final tackle to get stuck in from Alston to stop the momentum of T2. You can see just an extra kick on the end. Not needed whatsoever from Barmby. But they don't mind. Nothing intentional, potentially.
Were you helping up the opposition like that in college?
No. I was not.
You were stepping over them on your way back.
No, I wasn't mean. I would just get up and walk away. Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I've seen you in co-ed. There's no way.
See, the funny thing about that co-ed game is I went into it, I said, you know what, don't get over competitive. Don't try to make too much of it.
That's
and it just
funny.
went the complete opposite way.
Oh, that's funny. That was your actual mindset coming, because that's not what I saw. That was really funny. Hey, at least that was the mindset. Might not happen, but you tried.
But imagine if my mindset was, all right, we're going to go out there, we're going to win it, 3 points
Oh,
no matter what. Taking the back from McIntosh. It actually spins out of play. Another corner kick coming up for Orange County.
I've still been waiting for this game to just pick up a little bit from Orange County. And you've seen opportunities and moments when it almost could, but it just seems to be slow. They're still a bit reactive, and when is that going to change?
Well, past the halfway mark in the first half as the big one's corner kick comes in, nodded away. Duke. Contour. Quinn dumps it back in. And the header from Michael Seaton skips all the way out, and it's actually going to be offside. To T2, Lauria the goal scorer. Excellent individual effort. Basically taking it from about 75 yards out to the edge of the penalty area, and then seemingly chipping Luis Lopez. Josh Phillips came on for Jadama a few minutes ago. Enevoldsen, Aiden Quinn. Wide for Bierman, and just tried to thigh it along, ends up hitting the hand of a T2 defender. And a very good set piece opportunity now for OCSC.
That's a very difficult touch that Bierman took because he was so narrow. If he would have opened up his run when he played the ball centrally, Quinn would have had an even bigger area to play his pass into. Bierman could have run on. So he was lucky there. First off, it was a fantastic touch. Really difficult to do. And also they were bailed out with the handball. It gives them a set piece in a dangerous spot right at the edge of the box.
Voltson straight into the wall. Another corner kick opportunity for Orange County. Another corner kick brought to you by the big ones. Walker Hume elevates. Lamar Batista standing at 6'5", able to win it. Great sliding challenge from Alston. The T2 come away with it. Bent in. Barmby beat for pace by Contour. This one intended for Seton. Decent first touch. Towards the byline. Earns Orange County another corner.
One thing that I want to see done differently on this corner, the ball has been floated in. It's been lofted, floated in, but it leads to nothing for Orange County because all T2 has to do is get a touch, and then Orange County's caught high, and they can go quick in transition. At least if this ball is pinged in with pace, it's more difficult to deal with rather than being an easy clearance.
Quinn sends it in. Again, it's Portland Timbers too, on top of every single aerial ball. Given away, Loria leading the counterattack along for Barmby. Barmby cutting it back. Langsdorf, Loria. Andre Lewis now matched up with Contour. Another hopeful ball. Barmby, a great touch over Quinn. Still with Barmby, lets it fly. It's 2 for T2. This time it's Jack Barmby getting involved. And Portland Timbers too have come here to Champion Stadium, and there are a lot of unhappy campers.
Barmby does something individually special right here. He knows Quinn's coming. Quinn does a great job getting up for it, assuming the ball's gonna be popped over. Yet Barmby still gets a hold of it, has enough time to pick his head up, and that is a rifle into that far post. He has so much time, he can pick exactly where he wants to put that ball and makes no mistake for it, drills it into that far post.
State fans, watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with the news from across
And right on cue, before the hydration break, T2 making a splash here at Champion Stadium. And if you're Braden Cloutier and Orange County, what could possibly be being said in that huddle right now?
It's just not good enough. I mean, that would be the message for me if I'm the coach. It's not good enough. The energy isn't there. The effort isn't there. The want to win 50-50s isn't there. That whole buildup and goal for T2 started from a poor giveaway right in the midfield, a simple giveaway. But it was a good response defensively from Orange County to track back and to slow the buildup down. But then it just comes down to not doing your job defensively 1v1. It's not good enough 1v1. Barmby just does something special, he just pops it over, has the awareness, yet still has so much time once the ball drops in the box. And then it's an incredible shot, the pace that he hit that with, but still he had nobody near him. You see Segbers was close enough, but he's not closing down the space. He's not forcing Barmby to make a decision or to make him nervous whatsoever. He's not close enough for that.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. Here's a look at some of the unhappy campers we were mentioning. haven't seen the best from Orange County just yet. Hoping that that'll change for the last 15 minutes or so of the first half and moving into the second half. Offside flag is up. Morgan, we mentioned the rapid succession of games, but then Orange County had a break. Last game wasn't July 21st. Had a number of days off. Braden Cloutier was very pleased with the road trip to the middle of the country against Swope and St. Louis, and gave the guys a few days off. And I remember seeing a Phoenix team after about a 15-day break against Fresno a couple weeks ago, as Austin Shields this out in play, who came out completely flat-footed against the Foxes and ended up losing 4-0. When you were playing and you had maybe a bye week or a little bit of a break in the middle of the season, did you find it difficult to try to jump back into it?
Yeah, it is tough, and especially if you're jumping back into a game that's not as normal, being midweek and being so early. So there are a couple factors, but at the same time, Braden Cloutier said he was happy with how the guys had responded when coming back from their time off. So it's not like they were struggling at practice. You know, you have to get back into the swing of things when you're back at training, but if you're having high-level trainings, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise by the time the game starts.
Segbers keeps it in play. Lamar Batista jockeying Segbers. Quinn comes out for Alston. Bending it in. Loose in front. And it takes a nasty deflection, denying Seton the goal and denying Orange County to cut into the T2 two-goal lead. Another corner coming up for the home side.
And that's a little bit better from Orange County. You're seeing that midfield movement, but higher up the field. So it's players interchanging. A nice little movement from Bierman to open up Seton. Can't get it to go, but you're seeing what happens when those players work together and when that entry ball is finally played in.
Quinn again on the corner, towards the back post. Free header saved by McIntosh and cleared out by Lamar Batista. I believe it was Walker Hume.
This was the original ball sent in from Alston. It's a really nice penetrating ball, and then you see Bierman working together. The shot can't go, but look at that ball sent in from Quinn. It's not floated in, it's actually played in with a purpose. Finds an Orange County player. That's the difference, is the service.
And Joe Salinas, our head referee for today's match. A little talking to with the players, getting maybe a little bit handsy in the penalty area. Quinn, this time it's a lofted one in, outswinger. Quinn keeps it, great little move. Good step from Contour, gets it right back. Christian Duke now. Ina Voltson, blocked by Phillips. It's Barnby, one of the two goal scorers. See Thomas UL Nielsen barking that it'd be a little bit quicker. Segbers, speaking of quick, moving towards the byline. And Lamar Batista again, and Morgan, as you mentioned, just those long legs are such a weapon.
That's the third time Orange County has tried to go end line on Batista, try to cross in the third time. It hasn't worked. They've at least earned a corner. But at some point, if you're Segbers and that ball comes into you, start to go end line, cut it central, because Batista's expecting you to go end line. You've done it 3 times in a row.
Quinn, another good delivery. Another Batista header. And the foul coming against Christian Duke. Joe Salinas wasn't a huge fan of the challenge.
You have to wonder how that foul happened, just based on the size difference. The timing of the jumps were off. Duke ends up getting Batista on his way down.
Ruel Nielsen. Segber's cleaning it up. For Michael Seaton, but those two not on the same page. Quinn trying to pick out Bierman. It's a good ball. Enevoldsen waiting for it. Over for Contour. Pops out to Enevoldsen. He lets it fly, and that shot takes a deflection.
Every time the ball pops out and Enevoldsen's an option, I'm looking at what he's doing with the ball, because when we spoke with Braden Cloutier, he was saying that Enevoldsen is one of the best finishers that this league has ever seen. Just looking at the goals that he scores, none of them being set pieces, none of them being penalty kicks. And he was saying he always gets his body on frame. Maybe he's not as close to goal as he used to be. So when that ball pops out, I'm looking, what is Enevoldsen doing? Because you know he's looking to go on frame.
He's got 11 goals on the season, vying for that coveted USL Golden Boot. Battling with the likes of Atula Guerra, Daniel Rios, Jorge Herrera. And even Langsdorff over on T2 in the neighborhood as well with 10 goals. Enevoldsen lets it run through. Thought Seaton was a little bit closer. Ebobisse. Ebobisse's still with it. Wasn't a bad idea sending it across, but nobody home for Portland. Not a bad idea from Segbers. Cut out by the T2 back line.
The best opportunities for Orange County are when they're looking to play those little slip balls. And we've seen T2 step in and win them a couple times, or maybe the touch be a little too heavy, but that's when Orange County is getting their best opportunities, or best looks, is when there's that movement and interchanging around the top of the box.
Seaton trying to touch it around the defender. Got taken down, but referee not interested. Bierman. Hitting Quinn. Alston. Good ball in. Bierman there. And a goal kick coming up. Bierman wasn't necessarily expecting it to fall to him on a silver platter. About 3 yards away from goal.
And there's finally some service from that outside, because it's played quickly wide to Alston. Not a bad ball in, just the way it deflected down to Bierman. He wasn't ready for it. But that's how Orange County can get those opportunities wide, not trying to beat Batista down line. It's moving the ball, having an outside back slide wide, and then playing it, so Batista doesn't have time to cover ground.
Seaton might be in here. Fortuitous bounce. Michael Seaton tried to slide it across, and it's broken up in the end by Dispe.
Seaton does a really nice job of just beating his defender. It's physical on both sides. He uses his body. I don't hate the idea looking for him to cross that. It's just one well done defensively to get in front of it.
Well, 3 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. Aiden Quinn. Fans, Saturday, August 4th, Orange County Soccer Club is at home taking on Swope Park Rangers at 7 p.m. And it's the club's first ever Soccer and Brews Beer Fest right here at Championship Soccer Stadium, presented by Brouhaha Productions. Over 30 craft breweries featuring over 50 different craft beers, music, food trucks, and more. Get your tickets at orangecountysoccer.com/beerfest or call 949-647-GOAL. Quinn. Pedestrian play from Orange County. Quinn. Nothing pedestrian about this run. Towards the byline now. Quinn dumps it across. Bierman waiting for it. And it's Phillips who gets a touch. Pardon me, that was Nathan Smith.
Quinn's cheeky here, decides to go 1v1. Cuts it back with his left foot. Looks like he still may go central with his left. And then that ball popped over the top. So when Batista goes low, we can't get a touch on it. Well done from Quinn.
McIntosh gets a hand to the corner. We'll do one more time. Stoppage time presented by Synchronicity. Corner kicks brought to you by the big ones. Quinn, another lofted ball in. Hume gets there, and McIntosh hangs on to it. Great footwork from the agile keeper.
It was almost 10th time's the charm for Orange County. Their 10th corner already this game. Hume, it's good connection, but he's going backwards, so his momentum is taking him away. That's a tough one, but he does a nice job aiming at that far corner. Just can't get it to go. Orange County, though, 10 corners this half. Cannot get any looks on frame. That's probably the best one that they've had.
After their extensive break, more than 10 days, they have not looked themselves. Seaton over for Quinn. And Alston called offside.
Halftime score.
Two different goal scorers for T2. First it was Loria, then it was Jack Barmby. Both goals terrific in their own right. Barmby's a strike from about 13, 14 yards out on a tight angle. But lashed it into the far corner. That was the most recent score, and we were opened up by Loria, who took it from about 65, 75 yards out. Cut through the entire Orange County defense, and then chipped Luis Lopez on his way to his 4th goal of the season. Bierman. Enevoldsen. It'll fall for Contour. Now Bierman. Cleared away by Adrian DePies.
The reaction from Enevoldsen kind of shows how they're feeling right now. It's a good ball sent in, yet nobody gets on the end of it. Nobody's even reading that.
Well, that's going to do it for the first half here at Champion Stadium. T2 with a terrific start. Loria and Barmby, your goal scorers. Orange County unbeaten in their last 3 matches, but after more than 10 days off, back out onto the field, but certainly not back to their winning ways. 45 minutes remaining here in Irvine, California in this Wednesday matinee special Loria got things started early on in the first half, and then Jack Barmby made it two. Both excellent goals, and both have given T2 a comfortable lead heading into the dressing room. 2-0 to the visitors at the half.
At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you.
Halftime here in Irvine, California, and halftime is brought to you by Subaru Orange Coast. And right now it's T2, the visitors, and a side who's looking to make it 6 points in a row with a 2-0 lead over Orange County SC. And for OCSC, their next matchup should be a good one. And it's going to be at home, taking on Swope Park Rangers. And Orange County in their last match against the back-to-back Western Conference champs, well, it went pretty well. 4-0 decision on the road over right by Kansas City. Seton, Nina Voltson, Ramos Godoy, and Aiden Quinn, the goal scorers. That was on July 18th, a Wednesday, now 2 weeks ago. And now it'll be Swope Park traveling to Irvine to take on an Orange County side that with 3 points today could jump into second place, but right now they've put themselves behind the 8 ball and then some. Down 2-0 to Portland Timbers 2 thanks to goals from Loria and Jack Barmby. And we are going to send it over to our USL block with some highlights from the most recent week. Week number 20 in the United Soccer League. Let's take a look.
It's Schreiber, and it's 1-0 Richmond.
That didn't come off very well. This ball headed in. Important save by McIntosh.
Fury going forward again. Here's a left foot drive with another shot.
Sliding across in front, header is down and it's kicked away. Herrera, 2 great saves. Oh my gosh, 3.
And for Herrera, has some time and space, lets it fly. That is sensational from Herrera.
Lots of traffic in there. Gets lost. Oh, how about Mizell? Wow. Ward. Near post. Oh, what a finish by Charlie Ward.
And we'll take the shot, and Ferrigno, an important parry with his right hand.
Ramos Godoy cutting onto his right and strikes, and it goes in.
Go with the right foot, and he stopped.
Finding a Watson with a strike, and it's number 10 on the year.
Chance here for Pittsburgh. Into Brad.
Oh, what a save again.
Kuzminski.
And it will be Salgado to strike, and he puts it in the back of the net.
Brian Obi working on fines. Obi, it's off the crossbar.
Moreno with the shot, and he beats McGuire.
Guillen first time. Becker down low. And Goite
Misha down low as well with the save.
Jefferson taking off the chest by Greg, who strikes and scores! In on goal, Callie Brown off of his line. Freighter denied by Brown.
Shot from distance. Tambakis with the ball with the save.
Lopez on by Paul. Cheto Guzman. Lopez rolling in. San Antonio FC on top 3-1.
Scintillating moments in the United Soccer League already, and we're just a little bit past the halfway mark. How on earth, Morgan Conklin, is it already August 1st?
Honestly, I ask myself all the time, why does time continue to go by fast? And it's terrifying. And I don't know, but it makes it really exciting for the point that we're at in the season.
Absolutely, and we'll take a look at what's going on around the United Soccer League. Some news and notes and oh so much more. Tula Guerra right now leading the USL Golden Boot race. A dozen goals to his name. Charleston Battery, after all the pieces that they lost in the offseason, mainly to the Monarchs, they've certainly put it together here in 2018. St. Louis FC taking down Reno. 16 games straight without a loss for Mr. Russell's club, coming to an end. And then a lot of USL executives making their way to Atlanta for the MLS All-Star Game. Week 20. Team of the week in the United Soccer League. Nico Rittmeyer named the player of the week. Brendan Aronson of the Bethlehem Steel, just 17 years young.
If you look on the Bethlehem Twitter, they posted about him. Aronson looks like a child. He looks so young. It's unbelievable to see what he's doing against men in this league. But then when you look at Langsdorff for T2, we haven't seen much from him today. How can he get involved in this game? Because he's obviously coming off a great week. How can he bring that into the second half of this game?
And Oscar Jimenez, who had 2 assists for Louisville City FC in their win against Ottawa, garnering a spot on the team of the week as well. Wallfall for his efforts against Reno 1868. And then obviously Foster Langsdorff up top has been excellent as of late. And look at some upcoming matches in the Western Conference. LA Galaxy 2 playing host to Swope Park Rangers. Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Steve Tricho and company play host to KC Energy FC side that's been struggling as of late. And then obviously Orange County playing host to Swope Park after just dismantling them over in Kansas City a few weeks ago.
And it'll be interesting to see that matchup. How do both teams do coming off Wednesday matchups? We don't often see where both teams have to go Wednesday, Saturday. So I think that'll be something to look out for too. We're seeing some tired legs today with Orange County. Will we see that tonight with Swope Park? And then what does Saturday look like?
And then Sacramento Republic Fresno should be an excellent game as well. Fresno's been in good form. Sacramento obviously in the hunt for a home playoff match in the first round of the Western Conference, as the playoff picture just becomes more and more clear, or less clear, depending on how you look at it. But right now, the thing that is clear is that Orange County, certainly not themselves in the first 45 minutes, and they're looking to turn it around in the second 45 minutes, which we will have for you along with first half stats and highlights when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
You're young, you're busy. We get that. You don't want to think about healthcare until you need it. But when you do need it, Hoag will make it easy by providing convenient, reliable care that's tailored to you. We're here when you need us, with same-day appointments at our Hoag Medical Group offices. Urgent care locations open 7 days a week. Hoag is here for you, and will continue to be here through every exciting twist and turn along your life's journey.
Goal from Orange County.
build-up play. And Orange County has struck again. Sedberg's a chance to put Orange County in front, and he does.
What makes my famous brisket, chicken marinade, and punch so good? A lemon lime secret ingredient I'm never going to tell. 7 Up. Who's hungry? Do more with 7 Up.
Work to be done here in Irvine, California for OCSC and Braden Cloutier's side as they currently trail Portland Timbers by 2. Loria and Barmby, the 2 goal scorers, and we'll take a look at how it all happened in the first half. If you're just joining us, well, first of all, shame on you, and second of all, we'll forgive you because it's the middle of a work day, and we'll take a look at our first half highlights. Miss Morgan Conklin, T2, just right from the get-go, looked like they were just a sharper team going forward, albeit Orange County has more possession, and we'll take a look at that in stats in just a few moments, but T2's been electric on the counterattack, and this is where it all started.
And that's what it was. They committed numbers into the attack, but this one's just Loria taking on all of Orange County. He gets players to dive in, so confident on that left foot, is able to chip at the end, but he gets past Duke here, then he gets Walker Hume stepping, then as well caught flat-footed as Nielsen. That final touch on his left foot sets him up perfectly to be able to go for the chip there over Lopez.
Loria's 4th goal of the season. And you could see the looks on his teammates' faces. They were just astounded that he took on the entire Orange County, not only back line, but middle of the field as well. And then this is a bit of an odd play. Barmby just knocks it over Quinn, takes his time, and just lashes it into the far post.
And when Barmby took that extra touch, you can tell that Sedbergs wasn't expecting him to go for that shot. Quinn tries to go up for it. Barmby, a smart little touch over. Sedbergs doesn't close the space. He doesn't expect the shot. That's a tough angle. And then you see Barmby doesn't go to whip it in. He smacks that ball to that far post, doesn't go for any texture, just hits it straight in.
And Orange County would try to work their way back into it. This is a good opportunity for Michael Seaton.
One of the first couple times we saw quick movements, the quick entry ball, players working together, and then we saw a lot of these corners from Aiden Quinn. Hume is able to connect, going up for it, can't get the second one to fall. Hume, with his size, is a target for a lot of these. Falling away, he goes with another header. Doesn't get enough power behind it, just based on where his momentum, it's going backward. But we saw Quinn switch up his service. It was better when it was driven in, but Hume was usually the target.
Double-digit corners for Orange County, and take a look at some stats from the first 45 minutes. And you know, one of our producers in the control room, Morgan, was saying, how on earth does Orange County have close to 70% possession and still trailing this game 2-0 and still look like they're not in the game?
And it didn't look like they had that much possession, but what I am so impressed by is T2, their 3 shots, all 3 are on target. So they're not getting the most chances. Most of it's coming in transition, but they're committing into the attack, and they're taking high percentage opportunities, and they've been able to tuck 2 away. So they're playing Orange County off the field and only having about 30% of possession. It's impressive so far for them.
Well, Cameron Knowles has to be extremely pleased with the way that his side has played up until this point. But Morgan, you talked about it off air before we started this broadcast, that this is a T2 side that as of late has not been able to get any clean sheets. They've had 17 goals allowed since June 9th, which was their last clean sheet. And if I'm not mistaken, also happens to be the day that you were engaged.
That's true. Don't think it has anything to do with one another. But
are you sure?
Yeah, focusing on the game though. But when you look at T2, it's been 7 games since June 9th, and they've yet to shut out a team. But it's not just failing to shut out teams, it's giving up 17 goals in those 7 games. That's a lot for a team who earlier in the season was getting those shutouts here and there. So for them today, if they can go on the road and first off get a win at Orange County, and also go on the road and get a shutout, it's going to be a huge step for them and a big momentum builder.
This is an T2 side, that's currently sitting on 32 points as we're officially underway in the second half here in Irvine, California. And T2 with a win. Look at the 6th place. It would be 2 behind Sacramento Republic, who have a tough matchup against Fresno at the weekend. Tyler Terrans, along with four-time NCAA participant Morgan Conklin. Glad to have you with us. If you're just sneaking a little bit of football in the middle of the workday, don't worry, we won't tell your boss. And if you are the boss and you're sneaking it in, get your employees to go watch as well. You can't be the only one having some fun. Remember the last time we did one of these games, Morgan, middle of the day. We obviously thank the fans for tuning in and sneaking in the middle of the day. And Chris Hockman, who works for the United Soccer League, says, is it sneaking in if I'm watching the game for work purposes? Of course it's not.
I think we know what you do most of the days. If you're not calling a game, when you're supposed to be doing other work, I think we know how you normally spend those.
I usually spend my time prepping for another game while watching a game. Meanwhile, T2 trying to add a third out of the gates here in the second half. Slipped through, and Lopez able to get there. Enevoldsen. Orange County able to absorb the first counter-attacking T2 blow. Contour sidestepping one defender, trying to knock it through. We've seen a number of times today, Morgan, where the ball just sort of hops up right at the last second, not allowing for the cleanest first touch, but Contour here. Bierman, flag stays down, whipped across. It's Adrian DePies knocking it away, and another corner kick for Orange County. They reached double figures in that category in the first 45 minutes.
The final connection just isn't there for Orange County. You're seeing the ideas, but it's sometimes the pace of the pass. Or for Bierman right there, that pass across is flat. If he can hit that at a diagonal, it's more difficult to deal with defensively.
Quinn near post. Now here's Loria. Look at the pace. Duke was trying to wrap him up, but simply couldn't. Loria over for Ebobisi. T2 threatening again until it's broken up. Contour. Duke. Segbers. Kevin Alston. For Aiden Quinn. Towards the byline again. Cuts it back. Segbers. For the first time. Enevoldsen can't bring it down. Contour. Unable to get there.
There's a difference in every 50-50 ball between what each team is bringing. T2 is running through the ball. They have the determination to win possession. And OC, you saw right there with Contour, just a bit of a swing of the foot. There's not that dedication and want to get stuck into tackles, to want to win those 50-50 balls.
Well, Christian Duke might have heard you. Did extremely well to win that back, but the ball wasted for Orange County.
And you can see OC's already trying to do different things. We've seen Enevoldsen on the end of a couple opportunities, hasn't connected, but the idea is there, and we didn't see much of that in the first half. So you're seeing Enevoldsen become more involved in the play. You're seeing him work together with Seton a little bit more. They're interchanging. And I think that's what's important for Orange County, is just the moving. So it was very stagnant in the first half, and it was predictable with how they were trying to build up.
One of the biggest things that Brady Cloutier stretched to us in a conversation with him earlier in the week. I can't say midweek because we are smack dab in the middle of the week on Hump Day. But he said that this side has experienced some very high highs at the beginning of the season. Won their first 5 out of 6 matches in the 2018 campaign. A little bit of a honeymoon phase as Enevoldsen looking to get there. Enevoldsen shot just skipping wide. McIntosh might have got a touch to it. He did. Another corner coming up. Almost goal number 12 on the season for the Dane.
Enevoldsen with a quick touch here. He does a nice job responding to where the ball is. He changes his run up, gets the first touch. The T2 defenders are off balance, and he goes with that left foot. Doesn't get it to fall. It's not the cleanest strike, but he still forces McIntosh to make a save.
The ball whipped in at the near post, and another corner kick coming up. Corner kicks brought to you by the big ones. Quinn near post, Tina Voltson knocks it along. T2 at this point just gifting Orange County as many corners as they please, and they're happy to do so because OCSC has yet to capitalize on one. Again, it's at the near post. They continue to try to work that play where somebody's just going to flick it along, hoping that it'll be knocked in at the back post, but to no avail so far. USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7, 369 days a year. Follow @USL on Twitter. Talk to you about getting one of those orange bucket hats that the campers are wearing.
Those are pretty cool. I like a good bucket.
Who doesn't? Keeps the sun out of your face, stylish. There it is. Enjoying a snack too. Life is good. Well, if I can get my hands on one, that might be my engagement present to you.
Oh, wow. That's so, you put so much effort into making that happen then. I don't know if my head would, I don't know if your head would fit in that actually.
What are you trying to say about
Mine
my head?
probably wouldn't either. They look like they're kid size.
It's because they probably are.
Oh no.
There is some adults rocking them up top.
No,
I'm sure
good.
they have two separate sizes.
Yeah, those are definitely two sizes. We can make it work.
Bierman pushed down from behind right in front of Joe Salinas. Doesn't say play on, so there wouldn't have been a foul. Much more crisp for Orange County. Contour in for Duke. Trying to get it back for Contour, but broken up by Loria. One of our 2 goal scorers on the afternoon. Jack Barnby as well. Bierman. Ina Voltson back for Seton. Just knocked away by Phillips. Ebobisse might be able to get there. Lopez well off of his line, still scrambling. And it takes an Orange County bounce.
That was a confident job from Lopez to come off his line and to be able to go into that tackle.
Orange County on the move. Quinn, inch perfect for Contour. McIntosh parries it. Still loose in front. Quinn's shot saved again by McIntosh. Out in front again. Seton, and McIntosh somehow keeps everything out.
This build-up from Orange County, it was quick. Contour with the quick shot or cross. McIntosh is able to get a touch and then responds once again. And Quinn, this second ball across is so dangerous. Seton gets a touch, but once again, Kendall McIntosh showing while he's always on the highlight reel for saves. Look at the footwork. He comes wide, gets back central, still has his eye on the ball, and still gets low to cover that one up.
Well, it just might be one of those days for Orange County where Kendall McIntosh isn't going to let anything past him.
But that's the first time that he's really, truly been tested. There have been a couple opportunities from Orange County, but nothing that's really put under McIntosh that much pressure. That was the first time that he's had to do something special to keep the shutout for right now.
The The only other save that I can remember McIntosh has made was off the Walker Hume header from the corner, but even that was directed right at him as this falls for Ina Voltson. Seton for some space for a shot. Now it's Aiden Quinn again. Stinks it over the top. Could fall for Christian Duke, and it will. And it's offside.
You have to credit the defensive effort by T2. The numbers that they're putting behind the ball, they're making it so difficult for Orange County to find those little spaces. That's why the areas over the top out wide are open, because the central's so compact. Unfortunately, Duke was a step offside there. But the movement earlier from Orange County, when Quinn then finds contour out wide, that's what's on right now. So when T2 has so many numbers, it has to be stretched wide to then find other open pockets.
There's already been a sub used for T2 due to injury to Jadama about the 21st minute or so. Duke knocks it along. Actually might have knocked his face mask off as well. Sporting that due to the broken nose he got against LA Galaxy 2. It along. Loria. Nathan Smith. Adrian DePease. Jones getting ready to come on, as well as Ramos Godoy. Joel Nielsen wins it. Cameron Knowles, manager for T2, asking for a foul. Quinn sliding it through. Idea was there, execution not quite. And those aforementioned subs will make their way out onto the field. Christian Duke. This day is going to be done here in the 59th. Removes the face mask and will be replaced by Giovanni Ramos Godoy. He's been able to get some very good production off of the bench. And Darwin Jones coming on as well. Replace Mark Segbers. Godoy Morgan was one of those guys that Quentin Cloutier was talking to us about that could probably start on a lot of other United Soccer League teams, but happens to be playing behind Michael Seton and Thomasina Voltson, and those substitutions brought to you by Shire.
He was talking about just how some of the guys who aren't starting aren't happy that they're not starting, but he has to remind them that their time's going to come. And when you look at a player like Godoy, when he comes into the game, he brings a spark, and his time to shine are those moments. And when you look at what he's done, 4 goals on the season, he really makes the most of that time, and that's his role on the team.
Here he is again, getting involved immediately.
You always need those players that, whether or not they like coming in off the bench, they're still going to do their job, and they're still going to raise the level when they come on the field. And Godoy is that player for Orange County. When you look at what this team has done over the course of the season, coming into this game with 38 goals for, they've scored 22 of those in the final 30 minutes. So they have players that come in and make a difference. They have players that come in and are hungry to score. and Godoy has been one of the leading forces in that.
Lopez finding Quinn. Half an hour remaining here in Irvine, California. Loria and Barmby, your goal scorers for T2. Hume, good entry pass in. Bierman, Farina Voltson. Crisp movement on and off the ball from Orange County. Seton, back, Quinn! There it is for Orange County. They cut the deficit in half. And it's their leader in the middle of the park, Aiden Quinn. Terrific team build-up from Brady Cloutier's side. 2-1 and game on.
Tyler, you said it perfectly. It's crisp movement. This ball from Voltson finds Seton, and then he has a nice little touch to find an incoming Quinn. It's crisp. The players were getting for it, and it was with the purpose. They knew where they were going to run. Quinn does a nice job, knows he doesn't have much time, only enough for a quick touch and shot. That was the difference. We haven't seen that crisp, quick, fast-paced movement and passing.
Well, it's finished off by the infamous toe poke from Aiden Quinn. Glamorous, no, but effective, yes. And Aiden Quinn getting involved the best way that he knows how. Onto the score sheet. First real sign of life we saw from anybody on Orange County in the attacking third, and don't you know it ends up in a goal. Foul against Quinn.
And add that to another goal that's scored in the last 30 minutes of games. This team just comes to life, but just that last play, Quinn definitely gets his body involved there to stop Smith going forward. How can Orange County, though, keep that momentum? It seems like they have a little bit of extra life. We didn't see that much movement and creativity and just thinking in the final third. Everything was so stagnant, and that was one of the first couple times that we actually see Orange County looking like they want to score, like they want to be difficult to mark.
It's his 5th goal of the season, Aiden Quinn. All goals coming from that patented left peg of his. Contour, good ball forward for Seton, trying to cushion it. Farina Voltson or Bierman, whoever would have it, ends up being Andre Lewis who comes away with it. And a good play from UL Nielsen. Ramos Godoy. Seton offside. Hey fans, yeah, I'm talking to you. Be sure to stop by your favorite local supermarket and pick up some red shell miso dressing, sesame soy dressing, and teriyaki sauce today. It's great on salad, sandwiches, pastas, your favorite meats, and as a dipping sauce. So give it a try. More salad, please. Bierman gives it away, dangerous area. Zambrano, Loria. Ends up being Walker Hume in the end. Zambrano, a great hustle to win it back though. Fending off 2 different Orange County defenders, being Hume and Bierman. Nathan Smith getting involved, finding Zambrano. Lamar Batista. All 6'5" of them striding forward. Kevin Alston. Out wide for Darwin Jones, getting his first involvement of the afternoon. All the way to the byline. Seton lays it off. The shot, Ramos Godoy takes a deflection. He's aiming for that far post and just curl it in. And another corner for Orange County.
Sometimes those passes that have a weird deflection or a little mishit are the toughest ones to judge. You see it right there. Jones gets a deflection. It's a slow roller as it comes across the box. T2 can't account for it. It's good connection from Godoy, but the deflection from T2 at the end forces it to a corner.
Hayden Quinn's corner, another good one. Adrian DePies wins it. How's that for a challenge from Ramos Godoy? Fresh legs at its finest. Quinn back into the mixer. Seton right into the hands of McIntosh.
The effort put in from Godoy, well done. He gets ball. And then another ball sent in from that left foot of Quinn. Seton connects well, but McIntosh just covers that near post.
McIntosh much more busy in the second half than he was in the first. Darwin Jones. Now it's Quinn. Ina Voltson. Little two-man game with Seton. A little bit too much. Back out for Jones. Whips it all the way across, loose. As McIntosh scrambled off of his line once again. Bierman. Heavy first touch, dispossessed by Loria. Langsdorf, who's been virtually invisible. Hayden Quinn really settling into this one nicely. Finding Ramos Godoy. Godoy.
Jones once again gets on the ball and he forces McIntosh to make a save. But this ball that's been sprayed out, sometimes OC has trouble getting back on top of it. On that one, they were able to get there again. But then that last play from Godoy, we've seen him a couple times not hit balls cleanly, and he's so frustrated after, but it's just gonna take that one for him to have the confidence to go centrally and strike through it.
And we'll have Augustine Williams checking in, and Ibombasit checking out. Williams, who has 4 goals on the season, replacing Ibombasit. Really didn't get involved all that much. It was Loria and Barnby stealing the show up top for the most part. Substitutions brought to you by Shire. Williams, just 20 years old, from Freetown, Sierra Leone. Well, that's not how they drew it up. T2 will happily claim it.
You can tell both teams are lagging right now because that's a ball that Loria could easily pick up and go quickly. He's not wanting to do that. He doesn't have any help from T2. Still, they're slowing time down. But that being said, Orange County now has had time to get back defensively, so their defensive shape should be extremely solid.
Exactly sure how Cameron Knowles is surviving in long sleeve button down t-shirt and some dark colored pants. This intense heat in Irvine, California. We'll have a hydration break in about 5 minutes as Darwin Jones again looking for delivery. It's denied, but another corner coming up for the home team. through my third shirt already if I was Cameron Knowles. Hayden Quinn whipping it in and over the bar.
At some point on these corner kicks, you have to try something different. We're at about 14, I think, 13, 14 now. And Quinn has switched up his service between lofting and really whipping it in, but maybe at some point an outside back drops to the ball. Play short. Do something to pull out these T2 defenders, because all that they're doing is standing in their zone and just clearing balls.
Well, Nielsen wins the header, but illegally, says Drew Salinas, our head referee. Fans watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with news from across the USL, the league's official Facebook page, facebook.com/USL Soccer. This header snatched by Luis Lopez. Darwin Jones spraying it over for Ramos Godoy. That's an excellent ball and handled with care. Gets it along for Bierman. Seaton asking for it. Michael Seaton turning around Zambrano. Leaves it on for Hayden Quinn. Now it's Contour overlapping. Contour's ball didn't necessarily have enough on it. Williams strips it. Koji Hashimoto getting ready to come on, the 31-year-old from Japan. It's the 74th minute here at Irvine on August 1st, 2018. Slowly but surely starting to knock on the door of postseason play. County trying to draw level after coming into the lead by way of Hayden Quinn. Darwin Jones will not be able to keep it in play. And it'll be Hashimoto coming on and replacing Mats Bierman. Well, Morgan, as it usually goes when we highlight a star player, sometimes they're just not all that involved. That was very much the case for Bierman and Langsdorff today.
Bierman also just wasn't as clean as he normally is, but that was a team-wide thing. Nobody on OC, especially in that first half, was really doing things as they normally do. It wasn't as clean, it wasn't as quick, and I think Bierman was looking to combine, but I think sometimes when you're not working well with your teammates, just all around, it just wasn't on for him today.
And the substitution brought to you by Shire. Well, we'll have our hydration break here in the second half. Just about 15 minutes remain.
Off the Post with Kelsey Steele every Friday evening on the USL social media channels.
And we'll take a look as to exactly what's gone down in this Wednesday matinee, Miss Morgan Conklin. And started out with Loria just slicing through the entire Orange County defense.
And it was easy because most of them were asleep when that happened. He gets him diving, and then on the other end, it's something special from Barnby. It's a very tough angle, super tight with the right foot, but he chooses to go with his left. It's even tighter, but he crushes that ball. And then for Orange County, one of their best combinations of the day. Quinn's the one who gets through and finishes it. But this sequence from OC, they put McIntosh under pressure 3 times, and he comes up big every single time. Does not allow the ball past him. Well done for McIntosh. So impressive just seeing how explosive he was and his footwork covering that ground and then finally keeping the ball to the net the 3rd time.
Well, if you are Braden Cloutier, is there a point in this match, Morgan, where sacrifice a defender, bring on another attacker, and go 3 at the back?
I think so. I think if you hit that 82nd minute, that's really time to see what can happen, especially because Orange County, they haven't really been caught defensively, but they've been caught in transition. So they've been in poor positions. It's not like their back line is broken down and they've been beaten. It's just been almost a full field thing, or it's been an effort thing at the end of the day. So I think taking off a defender and adding an extra attacker, adding an extra body into that midfield front area is a good decision as they're chasing the game, but also just to get more bodies in that area to not allow a quick transition for Portland.
Well, they're not going to be able to take off a defender. They have no more substitutions remaining, but what we have seen them do before is bring up the likes of Walker Hume and just add him as that extra attacker up front, somebody with a big body. If balls are being whipped in from either wing, then he's going to be able to nod them home. We'll wait to see if that's what Braden Cloutier has up his sleeve here in Irvine as we'll resume play. Just a few minutes remaining in this one. Orange County looking to level things.
And if Orange County really wanted to chase the game, they could move Hume up and then get those outside backs even more involved, because both of them have shown that they can get into the attack.
Jones lofted towards the back post. Loria bringing it down and racing around Contour. Loria is just absolute magic with the ball. And Cameron Knowles, the manager for T2, loving the effort that number 44 has been putting in today. Hashimoto. Aiden Quinn whips it in. It's a difficult ball to handle. Ramos Godoy. Pass cut out. Now it's Zambrano. Along for Williams. August D. Williams tries to touch it around Lopez, but way too much on it.
The explosive first steps of T2 are so much quicker than the explosive first steps of OC when they have to respond defensively. But a really nice job from Lopez coming off his line here to force Williams to try to go first time with that. In no way is Williams at a good angle, especially when he goes with the outside of his right foot, but Lopez comes off his line and forces Williams to make that mistake.
Saturday, August 4th, Orange County Soccer Club is at home taking on Swope Park Rangers at 7 p.m. and it's the club's first ever Soccer and Brews Beer Fest right there at Champion Soccer Stadium. Presented by Brouhaha Productions, over 30 craft breweries featuring over 50 different craft beers, music, food trucks, and more. Get your tickets at orangecountysoccer.com/beerfest or call 949-647-GOAL, G-O-A-L, GOAL. To the 80th minute here at Championship Stadium. Hume. So right for Alston. Now it's Darwin Jones, who's been lively since coming on. Alston. Loria lets it run through. That was a clever play. And you can see the smirk on his face as well.
Loria is so cheeky. Just the little things he does. Well done on the awareness of that, to know that he had Contour behind him. And if he let that go, the reaction from Contour probably wouldn't be as positive as he wanted.
Ramos Godoy. Loria putting himself between Godoy and the ball and winning the free kick. Simply doing it all for T2 today. Ramos Godoy puts in a good challenge. He had to because his first touch wasn't his cleanest. Comes up a little bit lame as Aiden Quinn sending it the other way. Darwin Jones gets ahead to it, but McIntosh there to scoop it up and smother it. Andre Lewis, great skill. Thought about it. Over for Loria. Loria rocks the Adidas tent. Quinn slides it across. McIntosh is there. Time running out on Orange County for a great opportunity to pick up 3 points or a point against the side that'll be vying with them for a playoff spot. As Enevoldsen able to get there, can he tap it home? It's in, it's over the line. Thomas Enevoldsen, it's a dozen on the season, and it brings Orange County level. Out of nothing for OCSC, and now they have an opportunity to go ahead and snatch all 3 points after being down 2-0.
That is such a sick ball that is sent in. That forces McIntosh off his line, forces a collision. Look at this ball textured in from Quinn. It hangs up in the air, but it forces 3 T2 players together. That barely sneaks in from Enevoldsen, but the effort from him to get to that ball first, and then the composure to still go with that left foot to finish.
Just getting over the line.
In the last couple minutes, Aiden Quinn has really been pulling strings, actually throughout the second half. And that ball that he just played in was so sick the way it's coming away from the goalkeeper. It forces those players to figure out if they're gonna get there, if McIntosh is gonna get there, and it causes that collision. And all Enevoldsen had to do, which is what he did, is run through that ball and get the first touch.
Well, now the question that Braden Cloutier has to be asking is, where was this team in the first half?
It's a completely different performance than what we saw in the first half. There's just more want to score. There wasn't much of that energy in the first half. It was so much slower, very reactive. But the insertion of those substitutes, I think first off, it's the fresh legs. Not so much the change in personnel, a bit of that, but also the fresh legs that came in, inserted themselves in, and they want to make a difference. They wanted to even this game up. And at this point, OC is stealing points here.
Here's Darwin Jones, sends it in, takes a deflection that slows it up, and McIntosh claims it. Ramos Godoy. Aiden Quinn. Darwin Jones once again bending it in. Quinn helping it along. Michael Seaton still in the area. Seaton turns and eventually cut out, but Seaton able to claim it. Now it's Walker Hume. Big center back dinking it over for Contour. Orange County with a few minutes left. Sneaks all the way through. Seaton's first touch, not his best. And his shot goes wide.
Seton has been so close, and it hasn't been the most clinical, but he's been dangerous just getting on the end of balls. Contour does a nice job sending this one in. Seton's first touch lets him down. It's so heavy, and in the box, you cannot afford to have a large first touch there. It's a frustrating game from Seton, but he's been busy, especially in the second half, getting involved, making it difficult. Just can't get one to go.
Knocking on the door of the 88th minute. Barmby, one of the two Portland Timbers' 2 goals. Lamar Batista. Barmby again. Zambrano over the top. Lopez collides with his own player and Joel Nielsen. Zambrano. Augustine Williams turning. Over for Langsdorff. Probably the most patient buildup we've seen today from T2. Batista again, gives it away. Michael Seton skipping through a couple defenders. Still with it. Ramos Godoy. 89th minute now. Ramos Godoy trying to let her run through. No call from the referee. Looked like Nathan Smith got a throatful of the substitute. Now a foul called against Orange County, and with the previous one being a no call, they're obviously very upset. Long range effort, never troubling Luis Lopez. Darwin Jones. Difficult ball to deal with. Josh Phillips gets there. Lamar Batista still with some work to do. Tossing aside. Kevin Alston. Now T2 looking to break out on the other end. It's a great ball forward. Loria encouraging first touch. 90th minute now. Loria working on Contour. And great hustle from Aiden Quinn tracking back. We'll have 4 minutes of stoppage time. Michael Seton giving chase and got tangled up with Adrian DePies. And stoppage time presented by Synchronicity. And DePies needing medical attention now. So we're almost into the 92nd minute.
It's not a bad idea on this ball that's sent in, and Seton definitely clips DePies, but it's not intentional. There's no harm meant by it. You still have to call that at that point because Seton would have such an advantage, being that he did clip him. Didn't mean to though, but still it's frustrating for OC because that's an opportunity, and Seton puts in the work to get there. He's been playing 90+ minutes and still is trying to get on the end of that. Unfortunately, that has to be called back.
And DePee is able to get up underneath his own power, which is definitely a good sign. And we'll have one more substitution, as it'll be Max Ornstill, 24-year-old from Oakland, California. Hold off on that substitute, at least for the moment. We'll have probably about 90 or so seconds added on to the already 4 minutes allotted by the fourth official. Ramos Godoy. Quinn. Hashimoto. Kevin Alston. Still will not be coming on in the final moments of this one. DePee's back out onto the field. Contour will get there. Good idea from Ramos Godoy. Nathan Smith read it the entire way. Dinked over the top. Luis Lopez is there. Aiden Quinn. Ina Voltson. Bending it into the path of Darwin Jones. Numbers in the box for Orange County. Jones squares it across. And the substitute, Josh Phillips, knocks it away. Corner coming up for Orange County. Hashimoto awaits. Towards the near post, flicked along. Loose in front, huge shot saved by McIntosh. And that might just do it.
Once again, Orange County goes for that near post service. They get the flick on, once again pops through, and then Hume is waiting for that one, but McIntosh, a good save. Orange County has already stolen 1 point. They almost there. We're able to steal 2 more.
Hashimoto almost lost it. Ends up losing it anyways. Barnby knocks it forward. Won by UL Nielsen. Quinn, maybe one last opportunity for Orange County. Quinn over for Darwin Jones. Jones's ball in. Cut out by Phillips again. Alston. Jones. Former Tampa Bay Rowdy towards the byline. And Lamar Batista unable to keep it in play. But it would be a goal kick anyway. And that's going to do it. 4 goals split right down the middle on either side at halftime. 2 unanswered goals for Orange County in the second half. Aiden Quinn got things started, and then Thomasina Voltson drawing level with Atula Guerra in the USL Golden Boot race, scored his 12th of the season. And Orange County able to eke out a point at home against a feisty T2 side. A point apiece for both Orange County and Portland Timbers, too. We'll be back in a few moments with postgame.
At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you.
Full time here at Irvine, California, at Championship Stadium. Aiden Quinn and company able to gather a point after falling behind a T2 in the first half. Loria and Barmby's goals were not enough as Quinn got us started in the 62nd minute, and then it would end up being Thomasina Voltson scoring his 12th of the year in the 84th. Tonight's post-match highlights are presented by Destination Irvine and Miss Morgan Conklin. Loria, maybe one of the goals of the season.
Well, he just takes on the whole OC defense, but they don't do much to make it difficult for him. Goes 1v1, gets past Duke, really the only player who tries to engage him, gets Hume to dive in, blows past him, and then on the other side, UL Nielsen doesn't do enough to stop Loria here. An extra touch on his left foot, and then has the cheekiness to then get the ball over and chip Lopez.
Loria with his 4th goal of the season, showing everybody at Irvine exactly what name is on the back of his jersey. And then check out this little flick from Barmby. Loses Aiden Quinn, and then nobody steps to him.
And Segbers is slow to get up from the initial clearance. He doesn't close the space enough from Barmby. You see Segbers get up for this one, misses it, but then look how slow he is. He doesn't get up to help Quinn. He expects Quinn to win that. He doesn't, and then Barmby just tees it up on that left foot, slots it into the far post with pace.
3rd goal of the season for Mr. Jack Barmby. But then we would head towards the second half, and Kendall McIntosh, little highlight reel in about 20 seconds, 3 different saves.
I mean, come on, Kendall McIntosh. It looked like it was going to be one of those games that OC just couldn't get one to fall based on what McIntosh was bringing. Segbers gets forward on this one, though, and connects with Quinn. A beautiful job just coming up the middle. He dashes through. Segbers does enough to shift the defense, pulls him over, and then Quinn's just able to explode through and then finishes with a nice little toe poke.
And you saw the space created by Mouts Bierman. He wasn't necessarily involved in the score sheet, but pulling the defenders away. Then how about this 84th minute teasing ball in from Quinn. Anita Voltson gets just enough on it for his 12th goal of the season and a level score of 2.
And that ball sent in from Quinn. Look at the texture. It hangs up in the air, which allows Anita Voltson enough time to get in front, takes out 3 defenders, 2 defenders, including McIntosh from T2, and then a simple slotted finish with that left foot to put him now tied for the Golden Boot race.
Well, that would do it for the 90 minutes, and we'll take a look at the full-time statistics.
And the
A little bit
biggest,
lopsided?
yeah, the biggest change, though, for Orange County, in the second half, they had 14 shots, 8 of which were on frame. They really came alive in that second half. Possession pretty much stayed the same, but for Orange County, it took them a little bit to get going in the second half, but then they really found their momentum, brought in some fresh legs, they made a difference, and it was enough for OC to play thieves today. They were able to steal one of those points, and it was a hard-earned tie, but for T2, this is going to be one of those draws that feels like a loss.
And tonight's Big One's man of the match, drum roll please, none other than Aiden Quinn. 5th goal of the season, 8th assist of the season. I mean, we always talk about how involved he is with this side, but today we got a full dose of it.
Well, and early on, you just saw him being the player in the middle that was holding it down, and then he was playmaker, and then he gets on the score sheet, and then for the game-tying goal, sends in that sick cross. So Quinn really was the man that was doing it all. He put in the work defensively, and then obviously had an outstanding game offensively when his team needed it most.
Well, they certainly needed to be able to get back into this game. And Mr. Aiden Quinn, who was sporting the captain's armband after Christian Duke came off at around the 59th minute. Skipper leading from the front, doing an excellent job on top of the ball and putting it in the back of the net. As the Campers here in Irvine, California got an opportunity to see a result from OCSC. It took them about 45 minutes to get going, but it was well worth it. Sportsmanship, goals, assists, and clever footwork alike were all on display here in Southern California. Our crew is outstanding. What else is new? And my broadcast partner was phenomenal. That's no news either. For Morgan Conklin, I'm Tyler Terrence saying so long for now. Orange County 2, Portland Timbers 2-2. We'll talk to you soon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.